What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Dual Sense podcast. This is episode 69. Nice. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jason, and I'm joined again. He hath returned from whence he came. Travis, or I'm sorry, not just Travis. We're joined by Adolf Dilfer, everyone. Adolf Dilfer, otherwise known as Travis. Travis, what's good?
Nothing's good. My life is forever ruined, and Adolf Hitler was a real knucklehead.
What happened to your life? It's only been 2 weeks since you haven't been here. Couldn't have been that bad.
Oh, I don't know. It got dark sooner. I don't like it. It's
Oh
just all
yeah,
stupid.
yeah, it does. We're getting ready to fall back for it to help those farmers. So
They're not even farming anymore. They've already harvested, haven't they?
I don't know. I guess it depends. Yeah, probably. I feel like it depends on what you have. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Daylight savings time stupid. I can buy into time zones. We don't need to reset the time by an hour every 6 months.
Yeah, I agree. There was something that I wanted to ask you. Oh, did you have a chance to listen to the show last week, the one that you weren't on?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. I just
Uh-huh.
just want to make sure that you listened to some of it because I had some really nice things to say about you. So
Thank you. Appreciate it.
it's good to have you back. And
I'll put that on my resume. Like, when people want to know that, a character reference, I'll send them that intro.
yeah, the son of a bitch that you are. And I'm glad to have you back. And you had for you to have properly removed this knife from my back. And it's time to get on with the show here. Anyway, Travis, for the uninitiated or the noobs here on the show, we are a weekly podcast where you and I get together and discuss all of the news, rumors, new games, and a little bit more in the world of PlayStation. We post new episodes every Monday on all of the usual podcast services around the world, as well as YouTube, where you can find our shows at the DualSense Podcast, in addition to some game streams and clips occasionally, which we'll most likely pick up when we get to Battlefield 2042 in the next few weeks. And then finally, if you want to talk with us and engage with us, find us on the Twitter at the DualSense Pod. We would love to hear from you. And we're also on Instagram at the DualSense Podcast. You can see some virtual gaming photography there and mostly that. And then we have a couple of new platforms that I sometimes fail to mention, specifically the blog. We have a website now. It is the dualsenspodcast.wordpress.co or com. I'm not sure what a website it is. And then I also made us a Facebook page this week. So we now have a Dual Sense Podcast Facebook page if you're more active on there. So you can it's just a smorgasbord of social media. You can pick whichever one is your favorite and you can find us there and you can engage with us or keep up with us. So how about that? Anyway, Travis, let's jump into the news here. Nothing too earth-shattering, I don't think, this week, but some interesting things nonetheless.
Okay. And you say that, and look what point number 1 is.
I don't know, but most people won't care about that,
That's the most popular game of all time, asshole. Look it up. It's like Muhammad.
It's like the name Muhammad's the most popular name on earth. Okay, here we go. Number 1, publisher Electronic Arts seems to be preparing for life without FIFA, Travis. They're long-standing partner for their annual soccer or football franchise. EA Sports and Soccer's worldwide governing organization have enjoyed a lucrative, nearly 3-decade-long partnership that seems headed for an end. As the New York Times reported this week that the two sides have arrived at a stalemate after nearly 2 years of negotiations on renewing their contract. The current 10-year deal ends in 2022 following the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. And EA Sports has already planted the seed for a rebrand of the annually best-selling sports video game in the world, with executive president and general manager Cam Weber, or Weber, I don't know how you say that one. There's only one B. How do you pronounce it when it's one B?
Weber, like the grill, right?
Sure. Anyway,
Mark Weber.
Mr. General Manager Cam Weber stated in a recent letter that, quote, as we look ahead, we're also exploring the idea of renaming our global EA Sports football games, end quote. The New York Times reported that the crux of the dispute is financial, of course, with FIFA wanting more than double its current licensing fee, which according to sources would increase its payout to more than 1 billion with a B dollars for every 4-year World Cup cycle. In preparation for a potential break, EA has filed trademarks in both the European Union and Britain for the phrase EA Sports FC. What do you think?
Well, it's, right when I get into a game, it makes sense for the franchise to end. And they've
Right.
done this before. I mean, we've seen it with college basketball and college football. So I guess I need to get into a sport I hate so it'll go away. So maybe I should get really into the WNBA and it'll just fizzle off into the ether. But I just, at the end of the day, I feel like they'll come to some sort of agreement. I feel like both sides make too much money for them to just walk away.
Mm,
They might not double their payout to a billion, but maybe they'll get to 750 million, something like that.
yeah, yeah.
We know that they're going to make a football game regardless, so EA Sports FC, what does that look like? Let's say they don't get a contract with FIFA. What does that look like? Do they have licensing with these teams? Do they license each team individually? That seems like a lot of lawyers and paperwork and money to spend. So if you have the teams, then do you not have the rights to like the Premier League or La Liga? Like, do those disappear and you have your own little made up cups or whatever? So there's a lot of questions there.
Mm.
It just seems silly to throw this away, especially with how shitty that I guess eFootball Simulator is now, formerly known as PES, the artist formerly known as PES. I think that EA is kind of playing a strong arm here, saying, "Look, we don't necessarily need you. We already have these trademarks for another game. We can move on without you. You need us more than we need you." Which I don't know if
Mhm.
that's necessarily true. I mean, I don't think either side particularly needs either side. They both can coexist without each other. I think that, in all honesty, I think that the FIFA organization has more leeway in this than EA does because football is the most popular sport in the world, and that's not going to change because EA Sport doesn't have a game.
Yeah.
EA Sport could legitimately lose a lot of money if they don't have the rights to Juventus or Chelsea or whoever. So, you know, I think FIFA is a little bit more of a bigger platform to stand on here, but I just really find it hard to believe that they don't come up with some sort of agreement.
Yeah, see, I actually feel somewhat the opposite of you in terms of who I think has the most bargaining power in this. I feel like it's EA Sports because
Mhm.
they have a stranglehold, as you mentioned, they have a stranglehold on the market for soccer or football, whatever you want to say, whatever part of the world you're from, football games, soccer games, and I mean they have no competition essentially. So I think that they have a ton of bargaining power because at least the way the New York Times put it, basically what they would lose from this is the FIFA name, obviously, and they would lose the World Cup rights. So they wouldn't be able to have the World Cup in the game.
Mhm.
But you
Big
know what
deal.
they're gonna, yeah, you know what they're gonna do. They're just gonna have another event in the game and just call it something else, like call
Cup
it the
World.
yeah, call it the Cup World, they call it the Global Cup, and
They
make
really
it.
would.
They will, yeah, and they'll they'll
Uh,
just put it in the game every 4 years. So I think that I feel like this hurts FIFA more because they would be giving up a revenue stream that they don't
mhm.
have to really do much for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're already getting probably, if they were asking for a billion, they're probably getting 3/4 of a billion, like you said
Mhm.
now. So I just feel like they don't have anywhere to go.
Right.
And like I said, EA Sports is just so entrenched at this point after nearly 30 years. I mean, it just is what it is. It's like if Coke lost the ability to have the cans be red.
Mhm.
It wouldn't fucking matter if the can was green. It's still Coke.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Yeah, and to your point, the only way when you look at it that way, I think the only way that EA could really lose would be if FIFA found a way to keep the teams from being able to sell their
Mm.
licensing off.
Yeah,
And
that is a good point.
with the way they reacted to this super league they were trying to form last year, and they kind of made up these rules on the fly, it makes me wonder if
Mhm.
they would try to jump in on that really quickly. But if they don't do that, then yeah, losing the World Cup isn't really that big of a deal.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. So we'll see how it all plays out. Sounds like EA is already preparing to make their stand and say, you know what? Fuck you guys. We'll make EA Sports FC. So we'll see. This will probably drag into early next year, is my guess, before we have a resolution. Number two, DICE revealed Battlefield 2042's Hazard Zone mode on Thursday. The mode sees squads of up to 4 players working to gather data drives from crashed satellites, which can in turn be exchanged for upgrades and better equipment on the quote dark market. Each match will start with a mission area briefing that provides info on locations of enemy combatants, data drives, and uplinks, which are powerful items that can turn the tide of the match. 3 types of uplinks will be available at launch: vehicle, ranger, and reinforcement, which are pretty self-explanatory. They allow you to either revive a buddy, gain a tactical advantage, which I guess I don't know what that means, or call a vehicle. Players will compete against the game's AI as well as other player-controlled squads. And each match will have 2 short extraction windows where you must fight to extract with as many data drives as possible. It's not all good news for Battlefield 2042, however, as writer and leaker Tom Henderson revealed that the beta client was in fact not several months old, as DICE had publicly stated, and development of the game remains hamstrung by poor management and instability issues that may even lead to features not being included in the launch version of the game, such as full support for the DualSense controller. Shout out. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'll start at the top. So, watch the trailer. Looks like a lot of fun. It's, the Hazard Zone seems like a combination of a little bit of Warzone, a little bit of the co-op we had on Battlefield 5, where we were taking those data points out, and it was pretty difficult. And then a little bit of that game. The reason I say this is because you could obviously leave without, you might have 15 datas things, and the other team might have 20 data drives, right? I know that's not the numbers, but I'm just hypothetically saying.
Sure.
What was that game that we played where you could get the gold out? Remember, you could like wrench the gold up. And
Oh, yeah. Hood, Outlaws and
yeah,
Legends.
there's a
Yeah.
little bit of that in it too. And one of the things I liked about Hood was like, you might lose, but you could still get some things, or you could flip it at the very end. And you know, this seems to have that. So that's one of the things I like about what I'm thinking is happening with Hazard Zone that I hate about Warzone, which is like, you could do all these things on Warzone and die and come in fifth, and it almost feels like it wasn't worth my time. But
Right.
but even on Hood, we might lose, but it felt like we were making progress. So I like that. It feels like, you know, there's a silver medal, so to speak. That's cool. The last half here that we were talking about, again, I feel like these issues with this weird version of the game, the instability issues, not full support for the controller, I still feel like this is tied to COVID. For whatever reason, they can't seem to get things through like they have before. So, and Tom even said this might be a game that isn't within what we would normally consider a launch ready situation for 6 to 12 months, which is a lot. That's annoying. It's frustrating, but everybody's had fun on the beta, so it's just annoying. Is kind of how I feel about it, all things considered.
Well, first of all, I guess let me start at the top as well. So I think the Hazard Zone mode actually looks really cool. It was like a minute and a half, minute 45-second trailer. It obviously is their version of a battle royale that they're marketing as not a battle royale, and it obviously has a little bit of that DNA, but it kind of like, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like Hood, Outlaws and Legends. It's like Hunt Showdown in a way. It's like the Dark Zone. It's like the Dark Zone from the Division.
Hmm.
it's if
Yeah,
you took It's like if you took those 3 games kind of and had a baby, you would get in bat and throw Battlefield in there. Obviously, you would get Hazard Zone. So to me, that sounds really awesome.
hmm
There has been some debate about whether that mode should be free to play. I actually think that it probably should be free to play because I think that they're competing with obviously Warzone, they're competing with Apex Legends, they're competing with Halo Infinite, which is going to be free multiplayer, things like that.
hmm
However, on the flip side of that, I understand not making it free to play and charging, including it in the base game proper and charging for it because it is a multiplayer only game this year and you want to make sure you have a good value proposition. And if you took the Hazard Zone mode out of it and you had Portal and you had All Out Warfare, I don't know if that's $60. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Maybe it is, maybe not. I don't know. So maybe that's probably what they're thinking on that. I'll have some I guess I'll have my thoughts on the beta later in the show when we talk about what we've been playing at the end. But in terms of the stuff that Tom had to say, to me, I've played a lot worse betas. Okay. I've played a lot worse alphas, demos, whatever. Does it have issues? Obviously, you know, they're well documented at this point. Screen flickering and people rubber banding through off of players and through falling through the map and stuff like that. Like, but that is all. And I'm not saying this is right, but that's almost any game at this point, right? When it launches or when it's in beta. Like, what's the last
Mhm.
beta that you played that was perfect? I can't think of
I don't
one.
know.
So yeah, I mean, it is a beta. It is kind of shitty. Two things that they've done that I think are kind of shitty. First of all, they've essentially lied about the beta being a few months old. It's more like a few weeks old. Pretty odd to say that. Secondarily, I don't understand why earlier in the year they came out and said, "Oh, we're ahead of schedule."
Right.
Our development's way ahead. We're well on track. We're already like in, phases of the game. We're just polishing basically. They came out and said that. Somebody from the studio said that in like March or April. Like why? I mean, clearly you're not because you've had all this time since then and you're still where you are. So
Mhm.
those couple things are shady, but it's hard to find one of these big tentpole releases nowadays. The Call of Duties, the Battlefields, the 2K, the NBA 2Ks, whatever. Take your pick of these big tentpole franchises and tell me which one is totally telling you the truth at all times of the day. And you
Yeah.
can't find one. So it's almost like the lesser of how many ever evils. And I'm not saying it should be that way, but they're all doing the same thing. They're all playing by the same rules. And for better or worse, that there's a playbook at this point for how these things go. With that said, like I said, I'll have my thoughts on the game or on the beta later in the show, but I have it pre-ordered and I'm not discouraged by anything that I saw in the least. So we'll see what happens here. Number 3, Dying Light 2 developer Techland revealed in an interview with Edge magazine that the game was delayed to February to allow for final testing and polishing. Lead designer Timon Smektala Jesus Christ, told the publication, quote, "We're double checking everything in the game. Dying Light 2 is full of complex intersecting systems created by hundreds of people. At some point in the production, they all really click and start working together, but you also start discovering various edge cases where maybe they don't, and you want to fix that. Those are usually simple fixes, but you want to make sure you test and catch as many of those as possible. Those extra 2 months will be spent exactly on this." End quote. Do you buy
Liar.
this? I was
No.
going to say, do you buy this?
First, like, if that's all you're doing, you can do that with updates once the game is out, and people don't necessarily get upset, at least in my experience, people don't get upset about edge cases. Like,
Yeah.
edge case issues are exactly what Far Cry make those that are hilarious. Those are the edge cases that are funny. And,
Yeah.
like, and even some of the beta stuff I'm sure you'll get into with Battlefield, those aren't really edge cases, but they are much closer to edge cases than they are to game crashing issues. So, no, I think
Mm,
she's full of shit. This game is taking forever. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a 2-month more delay once we get past these 2 months of delay.
mm.
You know, she says there's hundreds of complex intersecting systems going around. Dude, I played Dead Rising on like PS2 and they had hundreds of things going on. So don't act like you're on some sort of you've built something that nobody else has. Like there's lots of
Mm.
games with hundreds of thousands of intersecting issues that go on. You could pick a game and it has that. So
Sure, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, if you tell me the issue is maybe the RNG is just fucked up and lots of weird stuff's happening, yeah, okay, I'll buy that. But there's solutions to that people in the industry I'm sure know. So I think they must have some bigger issue than just these little edge cases because that's no reason to delay to me.
Yeah, I don't think this game's coming out in February. I didn't think it was coming out in December. I don't think it's coming out in February. I can totally see us getting to like December and they announce, "Hey, we need more time. This game's going to come out in summer 2022." And
Phew.
bec- I see it. I think that's where we're headed. I mean, just prepare yourself. Maybe I mean I really hope to be wrong, obviously, but I think they're going to look at the issues that they're trying to work through, and then I think they're going to look at that freaking release month that
Mhm.
they're coming out in. Really, that whole window because there's some things coming out in January too, like Rainbow Six Extraction, and then I feel like there's something else big coming in January that's like really nerdy, like I don't know, like something I can't think of it right now. And then there's obviously February stacked. I don't know. I could be wrong. Hope I'm wrong, but to me, I agree with your point that like if these are edge cases, if you're trying to find the the anomalies, the outliers where if somebody's wearing the pink helmet with the blue sunglasses and the fucking game crashes, whatever,
Mhm.
like you're not going to find every one of those. You never are.
Yeah.
So you're just not when you're a big open world game. You're not. So, I mean, if that is the case, you're never done working on the game. You'll never finish the game. If you're going to worry about that, you're never going to finish the game. So to me, and to your point, the way I read this is like, hey, it's still fucked. We're still working on it. We're still working on the game systems, and we're going to say they're edge cases. So I don't know. I'm with you in the sense that I don't think this is going to make it in February either. But I guess we don't have too much longer to see. Number 4, website IGN reported that actor and Venom Let There Be Carnage director Andy Serkis has recorded a message congratulating PlayStation players for achieving the Platinum Trophy in a seemingly unreleased game of some sort. The unlisted video was posted to PlayStation Europe's YouTube channel on October the 7th and is called Venom Let There Be Carnage Platinum. It's worth noting that Sony has distribution rights to the recently released film, also called Venom Let There Be Carnage, which released on October the 1st. So it's interesting. Do you have any thoughts on what this could be?
Yeah, I like Andy Serkis.
Do you?
Yeah, he's cool. He's been in some other movies I can't remember, but he's one of
He's
those
he's
actors I just
he's
remember.
yeah, he's Gollum. He's the
That's
Gollum.
right. Yeah, he's Colin.
That's what he's
Other than
most known
that
for.
it would be another Marvel game, so I don't care.
I don't. This can't be a game, right? Because they've all. I mean, the fucking movie's already out. They're
What
gonna
would it
make a.
be though?
They're gonna have a game that's the same name as the movie, and it's not out already. Like, when's it supposed to come out? I don't know. The only other thought that I have is like, and I don't know enough about it. I haven't looked into it enough. Like, there's the Sony Rewards app, for instance, and you can get like rewards on that for doing certain things, like inviting 3 friends to download the app or whatever, or watch a Sony movie or buy, $50 of the shit on the PlayStation Store, whatever. So, did he record something like that for the Sony Rewards app for when the Venom movie comes out and you can buy it on that? Like, I don't know.
You buy
That's
it,
the
get
only,
a trophy?
yeah, like you buy it and you get a reward and you get like 500 bonus reward points, or
Mm.
whatever in the app, and then you watch the video or something like that. That's literally the only other thought that I have outside of it being a PlayStation video game. So I literally don't know. It's very interesting. It's also weird that this is a thing. Like I don't think that we've ever gotten a video when you earn a platinum trophy um, on a
Right.
game. Like of the platinums that I have, I don't think I've ever seen a video or been like emailed a video after the fact.
Oh,
Like, hey,
how
here's Andy Circus.
I'm like, "Why the fuck is Andy Serkis talking to me right now?"
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. So many questions. This could be all bullshit too. Who knows? Number 5, website Video Games Chronicle reported that physical copies of Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the definitive edition, are scheduled for a December 7th release on PS4, while PlayStation 5 versions may not release until 2022. Elsewhere, website Push Square reported that the collection may run you $60 on PS4 and $70 on PS5. Also, the first details of the trilogy leaked online via a Rockstar support page. The now deleted blurb read, quote, played the genre defining classics of the original GTA trilogy, GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and GTA San Andreas, updated for a new generation, now with across the board enhancements, including brilliant new lighting and environmental upgrades, high resolution textures, increased draw distances, GTA 5 style controls and targeting, and much more, bringing these beloved worlds to life with all new levels of detail. End quote. What do you think?
What's a draw distance?
It's like the distance in the game that you can see things in the environment.
Oh, wow, it's populating.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay. None of this gets my dick hard. Just out of the gate, none of this gets my dick hard. So, at what point are we going to stop talking about the prices of the 4 and the 5? Like, are people still upset about this? Like, it just seems like every article I ever read, they're like, "Well, it's 70 on PS5." It's like, yeah, of course it fucking is. Everything is. Stop telling me.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes me angry.
Sure. Yeah.
See, here's the thing. If honestly, if we would have gotten a Grand Theft Auto 6 by now, and then they came out with this, I probably would be more interested. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that I'm still waiting on this new version of the game that I feel like I shouldn't be waiting on, that I'm in, so third generation of a console that we have the same game on, and then this is what you give me. I don't like that. I'm not interested in that. I'm not going to support it in any way. New lighting and environmental upgrades doesn't do it for me. Resolution textures, that's not really going to do it for me. And part of that is because GTA 5 looks great, but it doesn't. Grand Theft Auto does not need to be photorealistic to me. Like, it's
Mm,
okay if it's not. It can be really, really, really pretty, and that's exactly what it should be. It should live in that world, but it doesn't have to be like Gran Turismo realistic either. Like, the cars don't need to look like that. So none of that
yeah.
stuff makes me want to play the game. If they had added missions, or if they found a way to like make it to where you play those games and somehow they're all connected in like a through line, story wise, like that would be something I'd be interested in. But again, this just doesn't do it for me, and none of this makes me any more excited than I am. I'm still like on a one.
Hmm. Okay. Well, for me, I'm a little bit of the opposite, but I'm also in agreement on some things. This does excite me more than what I was before. I was like, all right, whatever, they exist. I'm not interested in buying really. Now I'm on the fence, like, okay, well, this sounds more extensive than what I thought in terms of what the remaster is. However, I want to see a trailer. Like, I want to see it actually in action because I have a lot of the same questions you do. Like, how can you take any of these games, just pick one? What does it look like with high resolution textures? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at some
Mhm.
point, a game is too old to up the resolution on the textures and it look good. You
Right.
know,
That just look weird.
yeah. I mean, I don't know because at some point it's at some point it's a remake. So where
Mhm.
are they've said it's a remaster and not a remake. So where does that leave
Yeah.
things?
Where's the line?
Yeah, especially with a game like Grand Theft Auto that has me more curious than ever as to what a remaster is and what these things look like, because typically a remaster is just scaling up the resolution, maybe the frame rate. That's basically the two main things.
Right.
So I don't know. I just try to picture playing GTA 3 and then like trying to imagine that with higher resolution textures, and I don't. But then still the weird looking dude running around with like the polygonal face, because everybody had polygonal face. I don't know. I need to see it. Like, seeing is believing, and I think if once people see that, though, it's not going to be like, it's either going to be like, yeah, that looks dope, or where you're at, like, no, I'm good. It's going to be one of the two. I feel like. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm open. Let's say that. Number 6, Travis. We also have several news nuggets. First nugget here: in celebration of the 5th anniversary of PlayStation VR, Sony will be giving PlayStation Plus subscribers 3 PSVR bonus games for no extra charge in November.
We talked about this earlier in the week. Like, I'll download them, save them for PSVR too.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. Save them for VR2. They'll probably get and you made a good point. They'll probably get a free upgrade, like a like a remaster, like a bump up in res or whatever. I'm sure. So be sure you claim those whenever they come, whenever you come. Also, Game Informer shared a lot of exclusive Saints Row coverage this week, including trailers, gameplay, and deep dives with developers. I think this game looks fucking awesome. I sent
Yeah,
you
it
some
looks pretty sweet.
I sent you some gameplay earlier.
I remember the first few just being outrageous, like more so than GTA. Like, it was like GTA unpolished, and then they like just made it complete carnage and chaos, like over the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they've dialed it back.
Yeah, it's a little bit more realistic isn't the word, but you could use it vaguely here. But it looks
Grounded.
like it'll be grounded is a good word, yeah. And it feels like it's a little bit of Far Cry, a little bit of GTA, but still has that Saints Row feel, which is perfect. It looks fun.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Also, the LinkedIn profile for an employee at developer Virtua Studios confirms that the studio is working on a AAA action adventure remake, which is, as we discussed last week, VGC reported as Metal Gear Solid 3. So,
Let's get it. I might if they remake it, I'll play it.
okay, really?
Yeah, why not?
It's so weird to me that they're starting with Metal Gear Solid 3 still. Like, I was talking last week, like, that's definitely the most beloved game in the series and the most well regarded, and it's a fantastic game. But I don't understand. I don't know if we just don't have the full picture yet, because obviously this hasn't been announced. This is just reporting on rumors and news, but I just don't know why you would start in the fucking middle.
Mhm.
I
Maybe it's a
don't know.
time thing, like, they wanna start there, that way they can remaster a
Yeah.
couple and jump to a new one.
Well, chronologically, the third game is the first game
Oh, that's right.
in the storyline because it takes place in the 60s. So
That could be why too.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why you would do that with Metal Gear, but I guess you could. I guess
Yeah,
that'd be
listen to
a
these
different
fucking
take.
trees talk.
That's right. The Whisper, that's that guy's name, the old guy, right? The sniper dude that we talked about in the woods. His name's the Whisper
What?
from Metal Gear Solid 3. We talked about, the bad guy that's in the woods and you're
Oh, sorry.
you're fighting him, and the real old guy that's the sniper bad guy that's in the woods in Metal Gear Solid 3. I think his name's the Whisper or something like that, isn't it?
I don't remember, but
Or the Silent or some shit.
I watched this video today about the deadliest sniper in World War II, and he was called the White Death. So when you yelled the Whisper, the sniper, I was like, no, he's called the White Death. He was finished. What are you talking about?
Oh man, you just got all kinds of wires crossed there.
Yeah,
Oh,
sounds good to me. The
can-
Whisper is a great sniper name.
yeah, that's gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to look that up. Next nugget: website Push Square reported that Sony is considering an investment into a Japanese chip factory, which would then see it partner with Taiwan's TSMC to build a chip plant in Kumamoto.
Come in my
Jesus,
tummy. Come in my tummy.
Kumamoto. Kumamoto. The factory would be expected to produce parts for a wide range of products, from automobiles, cameras, gaming systems, and more. And is anticipated to open in 2024 if all sides can
Oh
come to an
God.
agreement. So basically, Sony has said, you know what, piss on this. We're tired of trying to wait to get chips. Let's just buy a factory and then have somebody teach us how to do it,
Mhm.
and we'll just make our own chips. So
Perfect. By the way, did you read that article about how many chips are actually in a car, a modern car?
no, but our boss was telling me that there's 1,800 chips in a truck,
Right.
in a
Yeah.
Toyota
So
truck.
I had thought there was literally like two or three, like
Yeah,
like
same.
one for each part of the car, the front, and the middle, and the back.
Yeah, yeah. No, like 1,800, just thousands. That's all. So no wonder there's a shortage. You got to build one car. You need to put 1,500 microchips in it. Fucking out. Get the fuck out of here. Also, a native PS5 version of online multiplayer dodgeball game Knockout City, fantastic game, is on the way after website PSN Profiles published a trophy list for the game. Action RPG Biomutant is now available through October 28th via PlayStation's Game Trials program for users in the United Kingdom and Canada. Dirt 5 developer Codemasters Cheshire, the Cheshire Cats, is staffing up for its next project, which appears to be a big one, according to a newly discovered job listing for a development manager. The listing calls the new game, quote, the most ambitious and biggest game that Codemasters has made in over a decade, end
Mm.
quote.
Yeah, this is the racing game you'll like. It's a Dirt 5 guys, which means it's not the
Yeah.
rally guys, and it's going to be huge. So it has a lot, a lot of open world scent coming off of this one.
Yeah, that's sounding like what I'm needing. That's sounding like that scratch for that itch.
Yeah, they need to make Dirt Rally 2.5 next, or whatever, whatever they want to call it.
They might. They got that EA money now. They'll make all kinds of shit. Also, publisher Capcom has teased 7 different Resident Evil related announcements are incoming to celebrate the series' 25th anniversary. I saw the trailer for the new movie coming out at the end of November last night, and it doesn't look bad actually. Doesn't look bad.
The original ones weren't terrible, were they? I thought they were
No,
okay.
the first Mila Jovovich ones.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it better than the video game.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It was less terrifying. Is probably part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Next nugget: Dying Light developer Techland announced that they are working on a next gen patch for the original Dying Light, the first one.
Good. Yeah. So I totally believe the other bullet then.
Oh God, just work on the fucking new one. You can do that later.
Why
Fuck.
they can't get? That's why they can't get anything done. They're just all
God,
over the fucking place.
fucking A. They probably got 10 guys working on that shit. They need to be over here fucking fixing the new one so they can get it out. Also, Apple Music appears to be headed to PS5 in the near future. as a new PS5 owner posted an image on Reddit this week that where Apple Music was an optional download when setting up his new PS5. Although the download did not work at the time, it appears Apple's music service will be added in a future update.
See, that's interesting, but because I've always associated Apple with PlayStation. We've talked about this before. Like they both PlayStation, Sony, Apple, they have the same level of like consumer impression that they're high end.
Yeah,
And I don't necessarily think Microsoft has that to that extent.
sure.
Microsoft seems more like Android to me. But anyway, they've also partnered with Android. Doesn't matter. What this reminded me of is, was it on? It was either the X. What was it on? Was it on the 360? It might have been on the PlayStation. You could download Spotify.
Yeah.
Maybe it was on the PS4, and you could play it. And I remember playing Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4. I think it was Battlefield
Mm.
4. And I was I was playing, my wife was out of town. I was playing Battlefield with a couple of my buddies. I don't think you were on, and I was blasting like Godsmack through my headset, but
Oh
also
yeah.
talking, also in a party, talking to people. So like all they could hear is just like, you know, just fucking whatever, down with the sickness and, you know, get back, motherfucker. And then I'm like just mowing people down. And then I'm like, he's on the left. Blah, blah, blah. And it's just fucking chaos. Like it's just music and gunfire and chaos. And then this is exactly what Call of Duty is going to be like in 6 months.
Yeah, you can still do that. Spotify is still on PlayStation, so you can relive those childhood memories. Or well, not childhood. You said you were married. Still, we're still children. We're children, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
We're big man children. Sony is anticipating a PS5 restock around the holidays and is now allowing users to register on the PlayStation website for a chance to purchase one when available. So if you're still out there stuck without a PS5, you better go sign up. And they said, of course, that they're going to base opportunities based on your PlayStation activity, whatever the fuck that means. Publisher Square Enix announced that Final Fantasy XIV, the MMORPG, is the most profitable Final Fantasy game ever, having now surpassed 24 million players. Christ. EA's co-op adventure game It Takes Two has now sold more than 3 million copies. It's impressive. Upcoming PS4 and PS5 indie game Solar Ash, or Solar Ass, I like to say, from developer Heart Machine, has been delayed to December 2nd.
I sold her ass.
I sold her ass. Sci-fi first-person adventure game The Invincible has been delayed to 2022 by developer Star Wars Industries, but they also shared a teaser trailer for the game, and it looks very, very cool. Keep my eye on that. Indie developer Critical Games announced throwback JRPG 8-bit adventures for PS4 and PS5. Squid Game, it meets the Hunger Games FMV title. Bloodshore is coming to PS4 on November the 3rd. Do you know what a FMV game is, Travis?
Future motion video.
Oh boy, full motion video.
Oh, it's so close.
The website PlayStation Lifestyle reported that PETA, better known as People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, fan Free Animals Now, with over 500,000 members from Florida to Finland. No, who are they? Has condemned the cockfighting minigame in Far Cry 6, calling it quote unquote reprehensible. It's a fucking video game. It's a video game. Okay, guys, let's not worry about all the games where we murder thousands of people throughout the course of the game, but let's worry about
including that game.
Yeah, including that game. Forget about all that. For decades we've been doing that, by the way. But let's make a big deal about the Tekken style cockfighting mini game, where
sounds awesome.
It does, and the chickens don't even die. Okay,
so the chickens are made up.
Next nugget: Blizzard Entertainment appointed Joe Shelley. I have no idea, as the new game director on Diablo 4 this week. Shelley was previously a design lead and takes over following the departure of Luis Barriga, who left following allegations of workplace misconduct.
This is interesting. It's Blizzard, so of course they have workplace misconduct, but it's like, are you surprised that a guy who made Diablo has workplace misconduct? That's like being surprised that the guy in Cannibal Corpse has a body in his trunk. Like, I guess
that's
so.
a good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. Also, Sony London Studios in development PS5 online game will feature procedural worlds and content, according to new job postings at the studio. Can barely get that out. Fuck. Leaker Tom Henderson revealed that 2022's Call of Duty entry will be called Modern Warfare 2 with the Roman numeral 2. Interesting. He also
Does it
said the
come out like
artwork.
tomorrow?
No, he said the artwork is very awesome as well. So
Ooh.
I gotta say, it's Infinity Ward. It's Modern Warfare 2. I'll be back on the saddle for that one because 2019 Modern Warfare is probably my favorite game
It was
in
fun.
this in the series. Not ever, just in that series. Let's not get carried away.
In what I would call the adult series
Yeah,
for us.
yeah, yeah. Swedish company MOBA Network has acquired the world's largest gaming forum, Reset Era, for $4.55 million.
Wow.
Developer Splash Damage, the studio behind Brink and Gears Tactics, has announced it is working on a new science fiction IP.
That when you read that really made me mad for some reason when you read that.
Why?
It's like you just make another piece of shit I don't want to play.
They're pretty well regarded. That people love
Oh,
Brink and
I
Gears
don't know.
Tactics.
Just made me so mad. Yeah, it's like people love the fucking Halloween movies.
Hmm. Yeah, that new one's not good, by the way.
I hate it so much. Like it's just God. It's like I don't know. It's like busting your ass to do something that you know is like I don't know. Like if somebody came to you and said the best you could ever do in your life is be a triple A baseball player, and then you go out and bust your ass like you're gonna make the majors. It's like that's what I feel like when I read that. Like they could make something mind blowing and they're gonna make Brink too. It's just
Well,
like, what are you doing? Just
yeah,
irritates me.
we'll see. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Call of Duty Vanguard developer Sledgehammer Games announced the opening of a new studio in Guildford, United Kingdom, as they continue to expand it over at Activision. GamesBeat's Jeff Grubb reported that the in development Dragon Age 4 is coming exclusively to current gen consoles, meaning the PlayStation 5. It's good news. Leave that old shit in the dust. Ubisoft has delayed the closed technical test for the recently announced free-to-play battle royale game Ghost Recon Frontlines after fan reception of the game continues to be rather negative.
Guys, that's not gonna help.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not as negative about the game as other people because this is just the world we live in now where everything's a online, free, battle pass, season pass, like fucking everything is doing that. And that's where we live in. And I think, it's free. It's worth a shot. Just check it out. Anyway, people don't like it. People hate it very much. Next nugget, Siren concept artist Miki Takahashi has joined Tokyo-based Bokeh Game Studio, a studio founded by ex-PlayStation Japan employees. Sounds like they're working on a horror game to me. Website PlayStation Universe reported that the following games received update patches this week: Guilty Gear Strive, which was a big one, apparently, Knockout City, Rust, Fortnite, FIFA 22, Deathloop, Madden 22, F1 2021, Ark Survival Evolved, DayZ, Diablo 2, Rocket League, PUBG, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Genshin Impact, Dreams, Minecraft, Dungeons, and Overwatch. So if you've been waiting for something to be fixed in those games, now's the time to check it out. And then some of those updates added content as well. Also, Call of Duty Vanguard's writers are interested in making a trilogy of Vanguard games, according to Sam Maggs. Great name. One of the writers on this year's game. Quake received a free PS5 update this week that added 4K, 120 frames per second, and DualSense adaptive trigger support. Rocksmith on PlayStation 3 and all DLC was removed from the PlayStation Store on October 17th, but the 2014 edition will remain available for the time being. The Last of Us Part 2 was originally planned to include a character played by one of the game's writers, Haley Gross.
Did you see the video that leaked the other day from the video shoot or whatever you want to call it?
I did, and as a matter of fact, I had to mute that Twitter handle or whatever on Twitter because it kept popping up in my feed, and I don't want to see that shit. I just want to watch the show, so I had to mute it. It kept popping up.
I was gonna say it's interesting that it's like the second or third thing this week I saw leaked from the filming, and I feel like at this point it's on purpose. I don't
Right?
think you could deny it's a leaker at this point, but it did
Yeah,
look pretty awesome. Like it's
looks
crazy
cool.
how it looked just like the game.
It really does. Yeah, it looks really awesome. I think it's going to be a big hit
And plus
for
Pedro's awesome.
yeah, Pedro's the man. I think it's going to be a big hit for both uh, Sony, PlayStation, and HBO. Next nugget, Blue Box Game Studios, here they are again, stated on Twitter that it will be updating the abandoned app with new trailers and content very soon, and also revealed that the playable prologue is a standalone game dropping sometime next year. Okay. A new Star Wars game could be revealed on December the 14th as a new promotional campaign called Bring Home the Bounty has shared a reveal schedule for, quote, memorabilia, games, and other merchandise, end quote. It is unclear, however, if this will even be a console game, as it could be some bullshit, mobile game or something like that. Roguelike zombie survival shooter The Last Stand Aftermath will launch on PS4 and PS5 on November the 16th. Website Gamatsu reported that Evil Genius 2 World Domination will come to PS4 and PS5 on November 30th. Star Wars Jedi Knight Collection and Star Wars Racer and Commando Combo will release on PS4 on October 26th. Xseed Games will release Corpse Party on PS4 and on October the 20th, with PS Plus members getting a 10% launch week discount. 2D parkour action adventure game Treasures of Aegean will
It's
launch
Aegean.
will launch digitally on PS4 and PS5 on November the 11th.
You might love it. You just there's loops and you gather our old relics from the ancient times.
God, I don't know.
You don't like loop games anymore.
No, I'm done with those. No more loops, no more roguelites. We're about to talk about one. Great. A Hat in Time will get a physical release on PS4 on November the 12th. Action roguelite game, there it is. Skull the Hero Slayer will launch on PS4 on October 21st. The Smurfs Mission V-Leaf has been delayed on PS4 from October 26th to November the 5th. Pretty short delay. Publisher Microids and developer Mr. Nuts Studio announced Joe and Mac Caveman Ninja for consoles.
Oh, that's great.
It will release sometime in 2022. Great developer name. They should just call it Mr. D's Nuts Studio.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a physical edition of Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition will release on PS5 on November the 12th.
Speaking of video game movies, Borderlands the movie looks like a goddamn shit show.
Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like Jack Black and Kevin Hart and Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, shoot me.
Yeah, and Kate Beckinsale, like the only decent, like the Jack Black casting makes a little bit of sense because he's like that robot thing that talks or whatever, but the rest of them are a fucking disaster.
Yeah, whatever.
I just think Jamie Lee Curtis is completely unbelievable as an actress. I've never watched a movie that she was in and felt like she took me out of True Lies.
Yeah. And ever felt anything?
Yeah, because she like comes up in the movie and I'm like, she's not attractive, first of all. She's ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just not a good actress. I don't get it. I feel like everything, she just feels like a bitch. Like she's just a fucking Karen and everything. And in the Halloween movie, she's the dumbest fucking person in the world.
Well, not much has changed. Happy to report. Also, a top-down racing game, Circuit Superstars, is quote-unquote coming soon on PS4, according to developer Original Fire Games.
Speaking of coming soon.
No, yeah. Point-and-click adventure game Virtua Verse is coming to PS4 on October 28th. And finally, Gamatsu reported that JRPG Monarch, with a K, will launch on PS4 and PS5 on February 22nd in North America and February the 25th in Europe, according to publisher NIS America. And that is all for the news this week. I'm going to now turn it over to the newly returned Travis for this week's new games.
I'm not excited about what you put down here on October 15th.
Oh man, when I typed that, I was like, this is going to be fucking good. You deserve it.
On the 11th, we have Subdivision Infinity DX on the 4, not on the DX. Just remember that. On the 12th, we have Back for Blood, Monster Crown, Tokyo Chronos on the VR. On the 13th, we have Caddy and Batty, the Spirit Guide, which, I mean, honestly, out of all the ones I've listed so far, that'd be the one I would try. Following that, we have Kick It Bunny, which I didn't look this one up, but I don't know if it means like kick it bunny, like bunny should kick it, or like kick it bunny, like get out of here. I don't know which one it means. Following that, we have Immortus Temporis and Quake making its way to the PS5. On the 14th, we have Aeon Must Die, Doctor Who: The Edge of Reality, which is the edge of reality is where all those issues are for Dying Light 2, apparently. We also have Dungeon Encounters, Murder House,
Hmm.
Red Ronin, Yum, Rescue HQ, The Rift Breaker.
Which looks dope.
On the 15th, we have Crisis Remastered Trilogy, and I'm finally glad it's here. We've heard so much about it. Get it the fuck out. Following that, we have Demon Slayer, Kimitsu no Yabiya, the Hino Kami Chronicles.
Yep.
Yeba. Is it Yeba?
Shit, man. Your guess is as good as mine. Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Hmm.
The Hinokami Chronicles.
Kimetsu no Labia.
I was waiting for that.
And we have NHL 22, which they have added like superstar traits like Madden has. So that could, if you're into that game, maybe give it a little bit more life.
I'm gonna give
And
it to Gordon Ramsay. Oh, fuck off.
Speaking of life, the last game we have here is The Good Life on
Yeah.
the PS4.
Let's see here. Back for Blood, probably the biggest release this week alongside NHL 22 from a mainstream standpoint. Let's see anything else here. The Rift Breaker looks very cool. Very cool. It gives me like a future cop LAPD vibe. It's like a top down base building survival game. Looks very cool.
It is a survival game. That's what it's literally called.
Yeah. And let's see. Crisis Remastered, it's not getting very good reviews. Whatever.
Go figure.
So that's all for the new games this week, Travis. Let's start to wrap this bitch up by discussing what we've been playing in the last week, and if there's anything we're looking forward to. What's on your mind?
I played 2K because I just want to get to the Ascension board one more time. I think I have like 6 days, and I need to get like 5,000 XP. I don't think I'm gonna make it, but
You can do it. You can do it.
I've got 4 domination games left, and then I'll have triple threat, and then I'm really not looking forward to playing Superstar Domination. And then, of course, when they add the last domination level, it'll be on Hall of Fame, so I'm definitely not going to play that.
God, yeah.
So that's kind of disappointing. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. After I beat domination, if I'm not enjoying playing the other ones, I might do a franchise, or we might just go back to our own franchise or start a new one or something.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. We played Hell Let Loose. We have managed to find ourselves in this with a group of guys that play all the time, which I don't really know why they think we're good. That's pretty fascinating. I mean, to be fair, like I haven't went negative yet at all. I also haven't lost a match yet, which I've only played like 3 full matches. That first match we played, I got disconnected. I don't know if that one really counts. But yeah, I mean, tactically, it's a lot of fun. You got to think your way through it. I like playing with a unit like that. In Battlefield, you can just kind of go crazy, and that's kind of the point of it. It's like this overinflated exaggeration of battle in a sandbox that you can kind of goof around within the map, and that's fun. That is fun for what it is, and I enjoy it. And I'll enjoy the new one. But this one's a little more serious, I guess. And you have your roles, and like usually I'm the rifleman, and I have ammo I can put down, and trying to think the best way to flank. And it's also really satisfying when you come around a corner and you see somebody and they don't see you, and you can put them down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And last night a guy was running at me from that last house we were trying to get, and I hadn't reloaded, and I shot my last shot in the clip, and it pinged. And I guess I just wounded him. I hit him in the shoulder, and he kept running. And I laid down and I reloaded, and I was like, "This guy's almost dead. Like, there's no way he's." And I stand up, and in that time that I reloaded, he had basically got on top of me, and I was like in an artillery hole. So as I stand up, he's on top of me, and like on any other FPS, I mean, you just fire away and like, "Oh, I died, cool." But for some reason, because of the way you play the game, like it feels so important. Like it's such a big moment that he's on top of you, because sometimes you don't see anybody for 4 or 5 minutes. So he's
Yeah.
on top of me, and it's just like I had this overwhelming sense of like, holy shit, I have to fucking get him. And then like he literally blew my head into like 100,000 pieces. So yeah, it was
That's
great.
awesome.
And so we were on Omaha Beach last night, and and the map's really cool. We were on the beach with the
Oh
dragon
my,
teeth. We were running across marshlands. They had the French hedgerows you can't get through. We were in a canal that we were walking through. So yeah, I mean, it's the levels are realistic. The names of those battles are realistic, and the places you are. They did a really cool job with it. The roadmap looks exciting. It's a
yeah,
really fun game. It does take it is one of those games that I have to it's like it's like going out in public for me. Like I have to work
yeah,
myself up to it. I'm like, okay, I have to talk and
yeah,
think,
yeah.
you know. But yeah, it's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. I'll pick up there. So it is. When we played last night, I asked you because we were on NBA first. I said, do you feel up to playing Hell Let Loose? Because you do, have to prepare yourself, and in terms of having social interaction, and even if you're playing a game and you're having social interaction, it takes a little bit out of you, and I don't like people in general, so I don't think you do either. So that takes quite a bit out of us. And
Mhm.
however, in terms of the game itself, excellent game. I love it. I I can't say it enough. This really, and I know I've said this before on the show, but for I don't know why or how, but this year in gaming has turned into the year of the multiplayer game for me because we've had Chivalry 2, we've had
Mhm.
Arcadegeddon, we've
Mhm.
had this game now.
Mhm.
And there's one other game I feel like, but I've
Splitgate.
Splitgate. Yeah, I've loved all of those games. I think they're all awesome.
Man, Hood was fun
And
too.
yeah, and Hood, and I don't know why but it's been a great year for multiplayer games. I think this game is fantastic. It's just something so different from Call of Duty and even Battlefield, and I love the tacticality of it and just working together with a squad. And when everything is working well and everybody's working well together, it's
Oh yeah.
that's when it's at its best because you're just like taking a point and everybody's doing their job, and then you're just crushing. You're
Mhm.
killing guys, you're reviving dudes, you're putting ammo down, you're whatever. Somebody's firing rockets. It's awesome. So when everything comes together, it's great. So that's why I think that having that group that we're in is so helpful because we have people who are playing the game the right way, taking it serious, and so on. In terms of just playing the way you're supposed to, and I really like it. They fixed the gunplay issues so
Oh
far that
yeah.
I could tell that we had from the beta in terms of the issues with the aiming dead zone and all of that. That seems to be fixed, and the XP issues are fixed. So they're definitely listening, paying attention, and like you said, the roadmap that I've seen out there is awesome of the shit that
Mhm.
they're bringing to the game. So I see myself playing this quite a bit throughout the next year. Yeah, I love it. And then also played NBA, like you said. I was very busy on NBA this week. I got my first two diamond players.
Some bullshit.
I grinded, man. I've been grinding. I hit
I hear
well,
grinding like Khaled.
that's right. Another one. Got my first diamond player, Kelly Tripuka, however you say it, and just literally just played the shit out of the game and got the level in the season XP where you get him. And then I got lucky playing some triple threat and got another diamond player, Louis Dampier. So my team's, in my opinion, somewhat stacked. But then, of course, I immediately got humbled playing the superstar difficulty domination, playing the Boston Celtics, and I lost. So I'm not as good as I thought I was, but still really enjoy the game. And I don't know why I'm so into the challenges and shit this year, the XP,
Mhm.
but I am. And I don't know if they've tweaked it in some way, but I feel like there's always a good variety, and it forces me to use different cards, and I usually enjoy getting the different cards and seeing which ones I like and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
very good. And then finally, I do want to talk about the beta for Battlefield 2042. Played that last weekend with John while you were gone out of town. I alluded to some of the issues with it earlier in terms of there's glitches, visual glitches, audio glitches. In my opinion, I don't think the audio mix is correct. Everything sounded muffled, like really low. And I even played with the different options and the different mixes, and I never could get it to sound correct, stuff like that. The flashing randomly of the screen, guys falling through the map and stuff like that. So there are definitely some issues with the game. But I told you after I played it a little bit the first night, you asked me what I thought. I said it was fine. And I will say that the more I played it, because I played it a little bit each of the days, the more I played it, the more I enjoyed it. So I think that's a good sign. You don't want to hate it the more you play it. So if I was hating it the more I played it, I probably would have refunded, got a refund for my pre-order. But I enjoyed it the more I played it, so it's a good sign. I'm not. I will say the one thing that I'm really not keen on is the fucking customization. Um,
Mhm.
I can live with the recoil. I think the recoil is there. It's just more haptic based in the controller, so to speak,
Than visual.
than visual. Yeah, but the customization on the fly where you can just change out all the attachments and shit, I don't like that at all. I think that's ridiculous. And I get what they're trying to do. The maps are so big and there's so many people. They're trying to make it to where you can, customize on the fly and have all these kind of dynamic moments, like going from shooting long range to going in a building and fighting. Like I get that. I understand what they're doing.
They're overestimating our ability to stay alive.
They are, yeah. They definitely are. So I understand what they're trying to do, but that's really my only complaint with it so far is that I don't like that system. But I'm
Mhm.
sure it's here to stay. But other than that, I'm excited for it. The hazard zone mode made me a little bit more excited. The announcement of that this week, so it's trending in the right direction for me. I'm interested to see what this looks like at launch after everything we've been hearing about it. But we're only about a month away now, so not much longer to wait.
I will say, what I think you are getting out of Hell Let Loose is what I get out of sim racing. Like it's a tactical experience where you think your way through and you have to play the long game. You don't just show up and run 5 laps. You got to like think
Yeah.
about everything. And there
Hmm.
is a level of skill involved that a level of skill that it's almost inherent in your play style, if that makes sense. Like you have to find
Yeah.
what class matches your play style, kind of like I have to match a car with your drive style. And like,
Hmm.
if you give me the machine gun on Hell Let Loose, I'm not going to be useful. Like it doesn't, I'm not good at it. So, it's just, I feel like there's a crossover there. And maybe that's because, I mean, I think sim racing is closer to racing a car than Hell Let Loose is to being in war, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not even a thing, but there's something about as seems like as gamers get older, they seem to like these more tactical type games, these more thought pro thought well thought out strategy type things, and I think that's interesting.
Yeah. I think that's a good comparison. I never thought about that, but I think that's exactly it. So I get that. That makes sense. All right, Travis. I think it's time to get out of here. I got distracted by a text message. I'm sorry. John texted me. Anyway, let's get out of here. Let's wrap this bitch up. And see what I did there.
Yeah. Is that why John texted you?
Maybe. You never know with him. So we'll get out of here. If you guys enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss a show. It will be right there waiting for you each and every Monday. And of course, like, subscribe, review, rate, all of that shit, whatever your app has, please do that. We very much appreciate it. And most importantly, if you would share us with a friend, we'd be most obliged if you would do that. Share us with a friend or a loved one. And then don't forget to hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Find us, engage with us. We would love to talk with you. You can just talk PlayStation, or you can tell us how dog shit we are at podcasting, or whatever the case. Either way, let's hear it. And we'll get out of here. Thanks for listening. You guys have a great week, and we'll talk at you next time.